The house stood silent, a Dutch colonial sentinel overlooking the Great South Bay in Amityville, New York. But on the morning of November 13, 1974, that silence was shattered by a horror that would echo for decades. 6 members of the DeFeo family, father, mother, and 4 of their children, were found dead in their beds, all shot with a high-powered rifle. The only survivor, the eldest son, Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr., would soon confess to the unthinkable. This is the true story of the Amityville Murders, a crime so brutal it birthed a legend of terror. Before we dive into the darkness of 112 Ocean Avenue, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of the Calendar of Crime. The DeFeo family seemed, from the outside, to be living the American dream. Ronald DeFeo Sr. and his wife Louise, along with their 5 children, Ronald Jr., Butch, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew, lived in the spacious 3-story home. But beneath the surface, the family was plagued by tension, primarily fueled by the volatile relationship between Ronald Sr. and his 23-year-old son, Butch. Butch was known for drug use, petty crime, and frequent, violent arguments with his father. On the night of November 13, 1974, something snapped. Sometime after 3 a.m., Butch systematically moved through the house, shooting his parents and siblings as they slept. The victims were found lying face down in their beds, suggesting they were either deeply asleep or, as some initial reports suggested, possibly drugged. Butch DeFeo's initial story was a frantic, panicked tale of a mob hitman breaking into the house. He ran to a local bar, Henry's, claiming his family had been shot. Friends from the bar accompanied him back to 112 Ocean Avenue, where the gruesome scene was discovered. The police were called, and the investigation began. However, inconsistencies in Butch's story quickly mounted. Detectives noted the lack of forced entry and the fact that none of the 6 victims, despite the loud rifle shots, appeared to have woken up or struggled. Under intense questioning, Butch's facade crumbled. He eventually confessed, stating, "Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast." Later, he would change his story countless times, claiming his sister Dawn was involved, or that he was possessed by a demonic force. The trial of Ronald DeFeo Jr. began in October 1975. His defense attorney, William Weber, mounted an insanity defense, arguing that Butch was driven to kill by voices he heard in the house. This was the first time the supernatural element was introduced into the public narrative. The prosecution, however, presented a clear case of premeditated murder, fueled by drug abuse and a desire for the family's life insurance money. They argued that the voices were a convenient fabrication. The jury agreed. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to 6 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life. He remained incarcerated until his death in 2021. Just 13 months after the murders, the house at 112 Ocean Avenue was purchased by George and Kathy Lutz. They moved in with Kathy's 3 children, hoping for a fresh start. What followed, according to their account, was 28 days of escalating paranormal terror. Strange odors, green slime oozing from walls, levitating objects, and a demonic pig-like creature with glowing red eyes. The Lutz family fled the house in January 1976, leaving all their possessions behind. Their story, recounted in Jay Anson's 1977 book, The Amityville Horror, became a global phenomenon, launching a massive franchise of books and films. The Lutz's story, while terrifying, has been met with significant skepticism. Critics, including the lawyer for Ronald DeFeo Jr., William Weber, claimed the entire haunting was a hoax concocted by Weber and the Lutzes over many bottles of wine. Weber later admitted they sat around and made up this horror story. Furthermore, subsequent investigations and occupants of the house reported no unusual activity. The most damning evidence against the haunting narrative is the fact that the house's distinctive eye windows were changed after the Lutzes moved out, a detail often overlooked in the film adaptations. The true horror, many argue, lies not in the supernatural, but in the very real human tragedy of the DeFeo family. The Amityville murders remain a chilling case of parricide and fratricide, forever intertwined with a ghost story that has overshadowed the true victims. Whether you believe in the haunting or not, the events of November 13th, 1974, at 112 Ocean Avenue, are a stark reminder of the darkness that can reside within a seemingly normal family home. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.